What up, sixth graders? Second video in a row. Okay, so this following video is actually a video that I should have done at the beginning of the semester. It's all about tape diagrams. So if you were confused when we covered tape diagrams at the beginning of the semester, this is the perfect video for you. Okay, so I'm kind of going out of order, but just look at the date on the video. Obviously, the date tells you what day I covered that topic in class. So the tape diagram, so the whole reason about tape diagrams is when we're dealing with ratios, okay? Tape diagram is a perfect way to solve ratio problems. So I'm going to go over some problems to illustrate this. So we have a game has blue and green pieces. The ratio of blue pieces to green pieces is 4 to 5. Answer the following questions. So the best part about this problem is they give you the ratio, okay? They give you that the ratio is 4 to 5. That colon is a way to write ratios. Instead of the colon, you could have said 2, so 4 to 5. And remember, the most important thing about ratio problems is that the order is important. So they said blue first, so that means blue goes first. And then they said green, so then green goes second. Order is important. So the first question says, if there are 25 green pieces, how many blue pieces are there? Let me repeat it again. If there are 25 green pieces, how many blue pieces are there? Okay, so first thing is we're going to draw a tape diagram to illustrate this ratio. So we have blue versus green. Hopefully the green, you can see the green. Okay, we're going to represent these numbers through boxes. So blue means 4 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the 5 is the green ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me see that right there is a tape diagram. For me, I separate the boxes. In other classes, they actually combine them together. I just like separating them. It just makes it easier to visualize. So I have, for every 4 blue pieces, I get 5 green pieces. So the question is saying, if there are 25 green pieces, how many blue pieces are there? So we have 25. We have 25 green pieces. My question to you is, does that 25 belong to the blue? Only to the blue? Only to the green? Or does it belong to all of them, blue and green together? The answer is it only belongs to the green, because they're saying there's only 25 green. So all of this section right here is going to be 25. Okay? Because they said there's 25 green, so obviously the whole section is 25. I have 5 boxes here, so I have to divide this 25 among these 5 boxes. So if I divide 25 by 5, that's actually going to be 5. So each one of these boxes is going to be is going to be 5. Same thing up here. They have to be equal. So that means this is going to be 5, 5, 5, 5. Okay? So if one box is 5, everything is 5. Now it's easy to answer the question. It says, how many blue pieces are there? So this is blue. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 times 4. I have 20 blue pieces. And ladies and gentlemen, you're done. That's it. That's how you could visually see a ratio and be able to solve ratio problems. Okay, so we have 20 blue pieces. I just counted 5, 10, 15, 20, and you're done. Let's do the next problem. It's the same thing. The ratio stays the same. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be lazy. In class, I don't do this. In class, I copy the tape diagram, but here I'm just going to go the lazy route. Just erase this. We still have the same ratio. Now the question is, if there are 32 blue pieces, how many more green pieces are there? If there are 32 blue pieces, we're talking about 32. Does that 32 belong only to the blue, only to the green, or does it belong to the whole diagram? Well, they said 32 blue pieces. So that means this right here that 32 only belongs to the top section. I have 4 boxes, divide 32 by 4, and then you should be getting 8. 8, 8, 8. 32 divided by 4 is 8. That means These down here are also 8. So I have 32 pieces. Therefore, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Therefore, I have 40 green pieces. But that's not what the question said. The question asks, how many more green pieces are there? So if I have 40 and I have green, 32 blue, the only thing I have to do is subtract them. 40 minus 32 is equal to 8. So that means I have 8 more green pieces. And I'm done. There's another way you could have solved this problem using the tape diagram. They said how many more green pieces? Well, do you agree that these are equal, these are equal, these are equal, these are equal, right? So technically, how many extra boxes does the green section have? Might cover this one too. There's only one extra box. How much is that extra box? 8. And that's exactly the same thing as what we got. So you could also use the tape diagram to figure out some answers to the questions. Let me just erase this. Bad idea being lazy. There's another part to this problem. So I have blue, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I have green. Part C to the problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, part C says, Mr. Hernandez, where did you leave the problems ready? If there are a total of 90 pieces, how many blue and how many green pieces are in the game? If there's a total of 90 pieces, if I'm talking about total, does that mean that 90 only belongs to the blue, only belongs to the green, or does it belong to the whole thing? Hopefully you said the whole thing. The whole thing is 90. This is 90. So that means I have to divide this 90 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 boxes. 90 divided by 9 is easy. 10. That means each box is 10. Like this. That means I have a total of 40 and then 50. And it makes sense. 40 plus 50 gives me 90. And the question just pretty much said, how many blue pieces? So there are 40 blue pieces and 50 green pieces. And you're done. This is how you solve a ratio problem using a tape diagram. It's pretty easy, so you could visually see the ratio. Okay? Let's do one more problem together. Okay. So it says, Kelsey and Andres are earning money to go on a trip to Knott's Berry Farm. For every $12 Kelsey saves, Andres saves $18. That's the ratio right there. For every $12 that Kelsey saves, Andres saves $18. Here's your ratio. Answer the following questions. So before you actually start trying to solve ratios, ask yourself, can I simplify this ratio? Because you could actually simplify it. And looking at this one, you could. The other one was 4 and 5. You can't reduce 4 and 5, right? There's no number that goes into 4 and 5, only obviously 1. Here, you could reduce this ratio by 6. Okay? So therefore, this ratio now becomes 2 to 3. These are equivalent ratios. So you could do this reduce because these are equivalent. So for every $2 that Kelsey, K for Kelsey, Andres saves 3 boxes, right? Because these are equivalent. So then the first question is asking this. If they save $30, how much does Kelsey save? Let me repeat it again. If they save $30, how much does Kelsey save? When they're saying if they make $30, that means they're taking into account both Kelsey and Andres. So does that 30 belong to only Kelsey, only to Andres, or the whole thing? Hopefully you said the whole thing. So all of this is 30. Okay? So then I have to divide 30 by 5 boxes, which is just 6. That means Kelsey made $12, Andres made $18. And it makes sense because 12 plus 18 is 30. So you write it in a sentence. Kelsey makes $12 while Andres makes $18. And there you go. Pretty simple, right? Now, later on in future lessons, one individual box, this individual box has a name. It's called the unit rate, okay? Just keep that in mind. Okay, let's do the next part. Let me write the ratio again. 2 to 3. 1, 2. Okay, for Kelsey. Andres has 3. Okay. If Kelsey saves $50, how much more money does Andres save? Let me read it again. If Kelsey saves $50, how much more money does Andres save? So Kelsey saves $50. Does that 50 only belong to Kelsey? Only to Andres? Or the whole thing? Hopefully you said only to Kelsey. That $50 only belongs to Kelsey. So 50 divided by 2 boxes is actually 25. 25. That's a money symbol. I'll just erase it. 25, 25, 25. That means Andres made $75. How much more money does Andres save? So how much more money? I could just subtract 75 minus 50. So Andres saved $25. But you could have actually solved this problem just by looking at the tape diagram. How many more? So that means how many more boxes does Andres have that Kelsey doesn't have? Well, he has 1 extra box. So that means this 25 belongs to Andres. So the answer should be 25, just by looking at this diagram. Let's do another one. Last one, I think. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Kelsey, Andres. If Andres saves $300 more than Kelsey, how much do they have altogether? So if Andres makes $300 more, well, the keyword is more, $300 more. How many more boxes does Andres have? He only has 1 box, so that means this box is worth $300, that extra one. If there was 2 boxes, then therefore you would be dividing that $300 among 2 boxes. But since there's only 1 box, that means this is $300. And in a tape diagram, all the boxes have equal value. So that means Kelsey made $600, Andres made $900. So the question is saying, how much do they have all together? Well, if you add this up, you'll make $1,500. So they make, or together, they make, whoosh, there it is. Okay, so that's how you solve ratio problems using a tape diagram. A tape diagram helps a lot when it comes to visualizing what's going on. Also, when you're giving a ratio, you always ask yourself, could I reduce the ratio? Because if you could into an equivalent ratio, like we did here with 2 to 3, it makes the problem easier. So that's the video for tape diagram day number 1.